guys, Jake and Matt here from Royal Fitness. Had a topic for you guys to talk about here today on the video. I've got a question here come through from one of the members that I'm going to ask Matt here to go over. We've actually got two different scenarios for this same question, so I'll get both perspectives on it. Now, it's in relation to strength standards or general goals for people to aim for. The first one, the first scenario is from a beginner's perspective. So, member asks, I've been training for 3 to 4 months, feeling more confident within the gym, within the movements and equipment. What are, if any, some general strength goals I should be aiming for, if there are any?
Yeah, cool. So I'll look at the strength around the whole body from not only an individual point of view, so what the person needs, what the person's already capable of, but also what will round them out completely. So we're looking at like somebody might be a great bench presser, but their back strength's terrible, they can't do a pull-up, or they might be a great squatter, but can't do a deadlift, things like that. So you want to first of all try and achieve some form of balance, right? So you want to have like a pushing strength to pulling strength kind of balance, and say a quad hamstring type balance, right? So first of all, you start there. Make sure that if you're squatting, this is probably a more advanced thing, but if you're someone who can squat, say, 2 times body weight, but you can only deadlift 1 times body weight, there's a big discrepancy there. Or it's very common that we see the opposite, right? You see people who can deadlift 2 times body weight, but struggle with body weight squats, right? And that's super common too. So first of all, bridging those gaps is a really good thing, making sure that everything's as sort of tied in as possible. Some basic strength targets to aim for, say, pull-ups, aiming for say 1 pull-up to start with, then going out to 5 and going out to 10. There's some really good targets to aim for. When your body weight strength is there, it's usually a good indication that your body fat levels are improving or in check. Yeah. Your athleticism is in check. So I look at like pull-ups, box jumps, for different height, or vertical jump. I've got the vertical jump tester, push-ups. All those body weight movements are really, really good indicators of athleticism, which I think is probably the best part about what we do. And then you might take it out into the power lifts. You've got your bench press, your squats, your deadlifts, and then you could argue the overhead press, fits in there somewhere as well. Looking for standards there. So a good target to aim for a bench for a beginner is body weight. So when you hit body weight, you're on the right track. I think that's a really good starting point. Same with the squats and stuff like that. Squatting, probably 1.5 times would be a good beginner target. Deadlift, probably 1.5 to 2 times body weight for a beginner target. And this is we're talking about old mate who's been doing 3 to 4 months of training. Correct. So something you can aim for in the next sort of 6 months. Like there's some solid targets, and they're fully achievable, right? Yep. Overhead press. If you're hitting anywhere between say 0.5 to 0.75, 3/4 of your body weight, that's pretty solid. When you start hitting body weight, you're more in the advanced category there. I think the best thing to think about from a beginner's point of view in training is to become as well-rounded as possible, build your base as wide as possible, be good at everything, get all your movements down, kettlebell swings, pull-ups, push-ups, all the basics, don't skip over them. Be able to lunge really well. All of that stuff will make you a better athlete long-term.
Cool. So with that, with using your own body weight as a bit of a start-off point, I guess, would you have similar or, angle targets the same for a more advanced athlete using their own body weight the same?
Yeah, with the body weight for advanced athlete, they should be, if you're truly advanced, you should be able to sprint really well, you should be able to jump really high, you should be able to change directions quickly. Pull-up targets should be 20, right? Push-ups should be getting in between, say, 70 and 100 good push-ups, be able to do pistol squats, lunge jumps, all of those things, like hanging leg raises. They're all movements that advanced people can do, right? And should be able to do, I think. If you find yourself, say, advanced in the power lifts, say bench press, squats and deads, and you're not in the body weight thing, there's usually most of the time a body fat issue there where people need to fix their diet, start cut back to make those other lifts, I suppose, more up to speed. So I suppose that it's the body weight side of things. Do you have one about the barbell?
Yeah, so with looking at that more advanced athlete, is there certain strength standards that you look for, even within yourself? Like being training for a little while now, you're more than confident in all of the lifts. Have you got certain targets in your mind that you want to have with the barbell, with the kettlebells, with the dumbbells?
Yeah, yep. So this is very, again, individual, just person perspective, like depending on what lifts suit that person, there's different targets in there. So something that I look for is, again, a well-rounded thing, but if you can hit 1.5 times body weight in a bench press, you're doing really well. If you're hitting 2 times body weight squat with any of the bars, whichever safety bar, stem bar, whatever you're doing, around 2 times body weight, that's really strong. Like, you're getting really strong up there. And these are, look, I'm not talking about powerlifters specifically here or strongmen specifically. I'm talking about general people or general athletes in different sports. There might be martial artists or football players and stuff like that that are doing strength to enhance their sport. Those sorts of things are really good. With the deadlifts, you might look at, say, 2 to 2.5 times body weight deadlift with a barbell, or if you're on a trap bar, depending on, again, the person and the sport and stuff like that, the trap bar might be a little bit higher. So you might be 2.5 to, say, 2.75 times body weight with a trap bar. But there's a lot of different things there, right? Like when there are people that are advanced, I'm looking at how much they kettlebell snatch, I'm looking at how much they swing, I'm looking at how high they jump, if they can do their 20 pull-ups. All those different aspects start to tie in, and I think if you want to be truly well-rounded, they all need to be filled, right? Like, what happens if they're not filled is that imbalances can occur, and because they are strong as advanced athletes, injuries can then occur, right? Like somebody who can't shoulder press much for whatever reason, they just never worked it or whatever, generally has shoulder issues if they're good bench pressers. So you want to sort of fix up those gaps. And I know for myself, like, I've had to really work at improving those different movement patterns over time, things that I neglected. And since I have, I feel better.
Yeah. So would you say that sort of the main 3 lifts that I suppose a lot of people tend to focus on, the squat, bench press, deadlift, if the other areas that aren't caught up to speed are neglected for a long period of time, would you say that they're more susceptible to just general injuries and general, I suppose, tightness, soreness, and just everyday pain and trouble?
Yeah, 100%. The thing is, guys, if you're training like a powerlifter and you focus on the squat, bench, and dead, and you don't put any time into your accessories, like, understand that good powerlifters spend more time on their accessories than actual powerlifts. So just because you see what they put out on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or whatever with their big bench, big squats, big deads, that's not the bulk of their training, right? Like, the bulk of their training, they'll do, I know like Westside Barbell's famous for talking about 20% of their movements being like the main compound lifts, and then 80% all on auxiliaries or accessory movements, right? And that's common across every single powerlifting coach I've ever seen and ever worked with. But for some reason, a lot of people tend to save all their energy for those big lifts and then, just fluff through the other stuff. I think the other stuff, if you do it right, it's the thing that will really take off. And in my experience, that's been the case. My lunges go up, my upper back strength goes up, pull-ups, all of that stuff. The better that gets, even triceps and stuff like that, the better my hamstrings get, everything that goes along those things, the stronger they get, the stronger the other lifts get.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below or hit us up. If you're interested in training, you can click any of the links around or message us and we'll help get you set up and see you in the gym.